What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American, here today to react and continue learning about the best and the worst things about living in Norway. Part 2. If you haven't seen Part 1, feel free to go check that out first, or stay here in Part 2. That's perfectly fine as well. But in Part 1, we started by learning about all of the great things about life in Norway. The best parts of living in Norway, which included Norwegian nature and outdoors, the great quality of life in Norway, the safety that you feel in Norway and low crime. The equality in Norway is great, and the salary and high pay in Norway. So, a lot of great things about life in Norway. It sounds amazing. But today, in part 2 here, we're going to switch things up. We are going to learn about some of the worst things about living in Norway. Bad things about life in Norway. I can't even imagine. I'm actually really curious to hear what we have to say about this, because you really don't hear much negative things about Norway, like ever. So I'm actually really curious about what are the criticisms of Norway, if there are any, and are they valid? So, with that being said, let's take a look.
Number one, cost of living would be probably the most downsides of living in Norway.
Yes. Okay. Now this makes sense. Yeah, that is true. That's a good one. The cost of living. Well, here's my question. Is it difficult to survive in Norway financially? Because it seems like a lot of Norwegians are paid really well. And on average, you earn more money working in Norway. So the cost of living is high in Norway, but you make more money in Norway. So does it kind of all equal out, or is this something that Norwegians struggle with? How expensive stuff is?
Especially for new arrivals. The prices for grocery shopping, I would call them higher than average grocery prices in other European countries.
Interesting. So yeah, this woman has lived in multiple countries, and she's lived in Norway. So she has a bit of experience to draw from comparing Norway to other European countries, and according to her at least, Norway is more expensive than other comparable countries in the area. So,
Including England, and also this habit to go out every second day, you will need to rethink it because to go
wait, what? What is this? A habit of going out?
habit to go out every second day, you will need to rethink it because to go out and eat out in Norway will cost you quite a lot of money.
A habit of going out to eat every second day, like every other day? Do Norwegians go out to eat a lot? Is this true? Is this a Norwegian thing? I don't know. I've never heard this before. In America, I don't know. I guess it depends in America. A lot of families eat at home and make food at home, and that's a lot cheaper. And that's pretty normal. Eating out every other day, that would be excessive in America. That'd be a lot. Yeah. Most people just go out to a restaurant on the weekend, maybe. Do Norwegians really go out to restaurants more often than Americans? I don't know.
Also, grocery shopping is 30% higher here in Norway than I used to pay in London. Just to let you know, I
Wow.
didn't change my eating habits much, so I'm buying pretty much the same products here as I used to buy in London. If you don't know the difference between different supermarket chains in Norway, I would highly recommend you to watch my previous video. Okay.
Oh, supermarkets in Norway. Yeah. I have no idea what the supermarkets are called in Norway. Huh.
The cost of life is quite high in Norway, but you're paying for the quality.
Quality always.
Guys, for 1 year, I didn't see even one damaged apple in any of the supermarkets here.
That's a really good point. That's a really good point. I didn't even think of that. Things are more expensive in Norway, but maybe things are also higher quality in Norway. You're paying for better quality items. Ooh, so there's a trade-off. This is interesting. It's hard to tell if this is really a criticism. Is this really a bad thing about Norway? Yeah, it's harder to pay for things, but you get better things. So, I don't know.
Things like cucumbers and tomatoes here in Norway have this amazing taste. Not that plasticky-ish taste
A futuristic tomato.
as I used to have in England. Hello, Tess.
Really? The vegetables, like, taste better? More natural in Norway? I'd be inclined to believe that, because in America, we fill all of our stuff with all these artificial preservatives and sugars and corn syrup, and it's not good. We have a lot of crazy stuff in our food. So I bet this is true. Norway probably has better fruits and vegetables and more organic or healthier too.
Okay, I don't miss you much. So yes, you do pay the price for the quality here, all this vegetable and fruit
Okay.
and super fresh fish and meat, which was never familiar with antibiotics during their life cycle. Number
Huh.
two, speed limit. Some people are saying that speed limits in Norway are painfully low. For
What is this? Speed limits? I've never heard about this. Speed limits in Norway. Like how fast you can go on the road? Does Norway have really slow speed limits? Is this true?
example, my neighbor with Ferrari. I personally find speed limits in Norway reasonable, but let's
Okay.
bring the facts on.
Okay.
The national speed limit is 80 kilometers per hour. In comparison, the national speed limit in England is 112 kilometers per hour. And
Yeah. So England is going to be more comparable to the United States. So England, the average speed limit is like 112 kilometers an hour. That's a lot higher than Norway. I don't know what that would be. That'd be like 70 or 80 miles per hour. Whereas in Norway, the average is like 60 miles an hour. Wow. Yeah, a lot of Americans would a lot of Americans would be like upset. Americans are very, very impatient car drivers. Very bad drivers too. Very impatient. A lot of honking. I've almost been hit so many times. It's kind of crazy. And Americans love to speed. Americans love to speed and go over the speed limit. Actually, it's normal in America to go like 5 or 10 miles an hour over the speed limit. I don't know if that's the same in Norway, but this actually sounds like this would be tough for Americans to deal with.
And any road in Norway which goes nearby the house will have a limit of 50 kilometers per hour.
Wow.
It's the same in England. To ensure that Norwegian drivers stick to those limits, speeding fines are based on a percentage of your income. Hello, my dear neighbor with Ferrari. And those
Whoa. Speeding fines are based on your income. So if no matter how much money you have, you're penalized as a proportion of your income, so it hurts you no matter what. Wow. That's very different to America. Here, you're just fined based on how fast you were going over the speed limit, basically. Wow. So Norway really cares a lot about speeding. And it's probably a good thing. I mean, yeah, this would be tough for Americans. I'd get very impatient. I want to go fast. But this is safer. It's safer and more responsible. So, yeah, I mean, is this a bad thing? Is this a con or a criticism of Norway? Yeah, for some Americans, this would be bad. But it's not necessarily a bad thing. It could actually be a good thing.
speeding fines in Norway can be higher than the fines given to people caught with a small amount of Class A drugs. I know for
What?
many guys, those speed limits can sound
Did she say you get fined more for speeding than getting caught with drugs? Is that Is that right?
Sound boring and painfully low. Hello, my dear friends from Italy and Russia.
I'm going back to Italy.
But let me give you some statistics. In 2018, Norway recorded only 108 road-related fatalities. According to ITF statistics, in December 2019,
Wow.
Norway was recognized as the country with the safest roads in the whole world.
Oh my God, Norway is actually like special. I don't think we can criticize this. I don't think you can criticize this. The data speaks for itself. Norway has the safest roads and least traffic deaths. So, how can you argue with that?
So you better be safe than sorry, people. Number 3. If you're a big fan of going to the beach wearing flip-flops and shorts, this country is not for you. Norway
What?
has quite a large number of beautiful Caribbean-looking beaches.
Wait, what? What? How? What? This is so against like everything American beaches stand for. At the American beaches, you go barefoot or flip-flops or in shorts. That's what you do. That's like how you dress. How are you supposed to dress in Norway?
You can see the same crystal white sand and blue transparent waters, but its temperature will be really low. Don't expect
Okay.
to go swimming and spend in the water hours and hours and hours like people usually do in south of France or
Oh.
Italy. If you cannot tolerate water temperature below 10 degrees, well, I would
Oh.
not recommend you to go swimming in Norway. Actually,
Oh. It's because of the climate. Norway has beaches, but Norwegian beaches are cold. They're cold. Wow. I've never been to a cold beach. That didn't even cross my mind. Like I just thought flip-flops were against the law or something in Norway. I didn't understand. It's because it'd be too cold. Wow, so Norwegians think of beaches a little differently. Like, cause in America, like we never think of a cold beach. There's no such thing. I didn't even. Yeah, that's so funny. Okay.
I was told that there are some places in Norway where you can actually do windsurfing. Guys, I'm dying to go there. I'm a huge fan
Cool.
of crazy activities like this. The main thing to know, it's similar to if you windsurf in countries like Scotland. So it's
Okay.
going to be relatively cold and you need to make sure that your outfit is in line with the weather conditions.
Wow, this is beautiful, by the way. But yeah, now I notice everyone is like bundled up. Even if they're on the water, kayaking or rowing or windsurfing, you can do these activities in Norway, but it's probably gonna be cold. Ah.
And once again, there is not such a thing as a bad weather, only inappropriate clothes.
Yeah, you know what? This is the first one so far that I think is a legitimate criticism. Like, this is kind of annoying. This is a bad thing. Nobody wants to be cold. I'm sure Norwegians would love to have a warm, beautiful, sunny beach where you can go in the water and it's hot and it feels good. And I think everyone would want that. So this might be the first criticism that's kind of accurate.
My favorite cons number 4. If you cannot give up habits like alcohol consumption or tobacco,
What?
you are in trouble in Norway. As
What?
one of you guys already told me, you will
This is big trouble for Americans. Big trouble.
pay a high price to damage your health in Norway. And this is actually true. Everything what's unhealthy is expensive here. In Norway,
Really? Is that on purpose? So tobacco and alcohol is extra expensive in Norway. Stuff is already expensive in Norway, apparently, but alcohol and tobacco is extra expensive so that it's more difficult to basically buy things that are bad for you. I thought Norwegians enjoy drinking, though. I thought that, enjoy it as much as anyone else. So, yeah, this is probably a con. This probably a criticism. Expensive alcohol. Who wants that?
Norway, you can buy alcohol in only one place, which is called Vinmonopolet. This
Right.
Vinmonopolet belongs to the government. It's a chain of supermarkets which sells alcohol. Its working hours is
Right, right. There's only one place to buy alcohol. It's from the government. This is so different. This is so funny. Like in America, their alcohol is for sale everywhere. Everywhere. The gas station, the grocery store, like there's alcohol stores that are privately owned. Alcohol is everywhere here, and Americans really really love it. So this would be difficult for Americans.
Quite interesting. Weekdays it's open until 6 p.m. Saturday it's closing at 4 p.m. and Sunday it's closed at.
Oh my god, this would be really tough. This would be really tough. It's like, is it open after work? Sort of. You barely have any time after work to buy your alcohol, right? When are you supposed to buy your alcohol if you're at work? You can buy it on Saturday, I guess, but this is tough hours.
At home. And as I told you at the beginning, I saved my biggest pain for last.
Okay.
Guys, there is no Amazon in Norway. This is probably my only and my biggest frustration about living in Norway.
Whoa. Whoa. This is the toughest one for me, for sure. There's no Amazon? Why? Why is there no Amazon? I guess Norwegians are just used to it, like if there's no Amazon, but whew, this is a criticism. This is number one. She's absolutely correct. This is the most difficult thing for an American to comprehend. This is definitely, like a lot of Americans would possibly not move to Norway over this. This is that big a deal. Amazon is very important in the United States. A lot of people buy their groceries. They buy stuff with prime shipping, which is 1 or 2 days, very quick. Americans have gotten used to very fast access to food and products that they want. Some Americans even get their medicine from Amazon now. It's a whole thing. It's huge in America. It's ingrained in our culture. This is a tough one for me to wrap my head around.
On top of that, the post services in Norway are incredibly slow.
What? Why?
It will take days and days for the letters to arrive. From nearby England, it took me about 2 weeks to get my card from my bank. Same card.
Wow. I had no idea. So Norwegians, you just don't expect your mail or post or packages to arrive quickly. And that's just normal. In Norway, it's just normal. You just be patient and wait for your mail. And it comes when it comes. Whereas here in America, we have an expectation that everything will come as fast as possible. 1 day shipping. Or else people get upset, and maybe we're a little bit spoiled in that sense. I don't know. I've never thought about it.
From the same bank came within 5 days when I was living in Italy. Yes, another
Wow.
important thing when you move to Norway and secure your apartment, make sure that you have your name written on a letter box. Otherwise, you will not get any letters. In Norway, all the deliveries coming to the person, not to the address. I used to order
The delivery comes to the person? Like, do you have to answer the door and get the package? Or here in America, they leave the package at your front door. Do they do that in Norway?
everything, like literally everything from Amazon in London, starting from the cosmetics, eye patches, also some clothing items, and
Yeah.
also all my vlogging equipment.
Yeah, seriously. Like food, like makeup, everything you can think of that people use on a daily basis. Vitamins, I don't know, drinks. A lot of people depend on Amazon here. Like, we've gotten very lazy. I don't even have to go out to the store for a lot of things, actually.
Great prices, next day delivery, excellent service. No brainer. So now, every time I'm going to London, I have a massive shopping list deliberately for Amazon and the spare luggage to bring everything back.
Wow.
By the way, guys, do we have a similar to Amazon service here in Norway? Please drop me a comment down below if you know anything.
Oh, okay. She's just asking. Is there? Is there like anything like Amazon in Norway? Do Norwegians even know what Amazon is? The online store where you can buy everything and it gets sent to you really quick. It's really nice. I don't know. I don't understand why they don't branch out to Norway. I'm sure Norwegians would enjoy Amazon, right? I'm sure. I don't know. That's crazy to me. Wow. So I think we're at the end here. That was a really good list. This was by Anna Goldman, and I got to give this a like. That was really interesting hearing some criticism of Norway, because again, you don't really hear it that much, and there's not that much to complain about. But it was interesting hearing about some of these things. The cost of living is high, the speed limits are low. That would be annoying for Americans. The beaches are cold, the alcohol and tobacco is expensive. These are things that Americans for sure would complain about. And biggest of all, no Amazon. I can't believe that. That's crazy. That's fascinating. I don't know how Norwegians do it, but this was really fun to learn about, actually. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on any of the best or worst things about life in Norway. That'd be very interesting to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Norway and Norwegian culture and learning things about Norway, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching and see you next time.